Hey, welcome to another night with Saving Life with Redneck and City of Angels. I want to give a shout out to our sponsors. I want to thank everybody for what you guys do for us in this fight with for this disease. But I want to thank Insight to Recovery in Florida, everything you're doing for my kids up there, and also Good Future for our adolescents. I know I've not talked to you guys in a while, but just thank you for what you're doing in the community for that. I know there's a couple more, and Allison's not here to write them down, so the ones that I did forget, I want to apologize. It's, you know me, and you know why they call me Redneck. So, but I just want to also thank the Retreat of Lancaster and everything that you do. Changes in Florida, Rob and Rachel, all you guys up there, I want to thank you. And also, too, wow, I'm brain locked tonight, bad, Recovery Place, another awesome facility. So tonight what we're doing is I got a few young ladies in our office. Each one of them came through City of Angels in a different situation. Some's been here a couple times, and but I've actually got to watch the growth in some of them. See some of them grow and fall back in a hole and grow and fall back in a hole. But you know what? It's a humbling experience at recovery, because especially if you slip up and, they say a relapse is part of recovery, but it does not have to be. But you can use a relapse to strengthen yourself, and you can use a relapse to strengthen your recovery and your program as long as you work in a program. So what's really cool is each one of these young ladies got a different story, and and we get to talk about that tonight, a little bit about what they're going through now and what they're doing to, to stay clean and sober and just make it another day. Also, I like to say what is really is a couple of them, especially I got to see. I don't like to say I got to see, but I had to see when they were probably by far close to their worst. But then also the growth when I see them, when they make a mistake and they're willing to face up to it quickly before they're out there on the streets too much longer. So without further ado, I want to introduce a couple of them now and let them tell you a little bit about the story. Also, too, the phone lines are open tonight, so if you'd like to call in and just ask questions or just tell us a little bit about what you're doing in recovery and how, recovery or City of Angels or both has helped you out. And, but the phone lines are open at 609-241-7103. 609-241-7103. So you're becoming like a superstar or something around here. You were here last week too, weren't you?
Yeah.
Amanda is always she's definitely by far, I think this is the best that I've ever seen, not just the way she looks, but seeing how she's really got the drive to stay clean now. And I've seen such a big change in this young lady, both as a as a friend, as my new appointed wife, and we told you the story about that last week, but we'll tell you again. We went up to visit one of our young ladies. She had a little slip up and ended up getting arrested. She's now in Monmouth County Jail. But we were sitting in there, and I know nobody, or I didn't think I knew anybody up there. Me and Amanda sitting down. This lady standing in line to check in. And she goes, Red? And I turned around, I said, yeah. And she goes, you're Redneck, right? And I said, yeah. And she said, I'm such and such mom. And I acted like I knew who she was, but I had no clue. But then once she checked in, she came back to sit down, and we started talking. And she looked at Amanda, and she goes, are you his wife? I looked at Amanda, I said, you know what? I said, that's like a compliment to me, but a cut down for you. But so now it's a joke now, but I also see her, the growth and the excitement in her as being a mother, that she's got a beautiful young daughter, and I'm seeing the excitement, and I'm also seeing the overwhelming and aggravation of having to take care of her. And I shouldn't say aggravation, but the good kind, where she forgets what this is like. So, Amanda, I just want to congratulate you and tell you thank you for everything you're doing for us here.
Thank you.
So you kind of got in. What's been going on now? You've been moving pretty quick around here lately.
Coming up on 90 days on Saturday. It's the longest I've had clean in 10 years, and that's crazy to me. Living in a recovery house with these 3 women, that definitely a different experience living with women. I got a new sponsor, starting to work the steps again, and it's been tough trying to find someone I can relate to and work the steps with. in the middle of debating on whether I should go back home, should I stay where I'm at, and kind of torn, but God has a plan for me, and that's where I'm going to just follow his plan. Sticking around you guys here at City of Angels, building a support here at home and then also where I'm living at. These women have really helped me, though. I'm not there most of the day. I've been taking care of my daughter throughout the day. I start work July 1st. But when I am having a bad day and down, I know that I can come home to them and they'll be there for me.
Awesome.
True friendships in this program that I've never had before. Never had girlfriends, never could rely on someone just to say, hey, how are you? But very grateful for today. Very grateful.
You've also been, I've noticed too in the last week or two, you've really been giving back a lot. I mean, sometimes I get nervous because I ask you for a lot, but, I don't want you to get too overwhelmed with it. But what kind of gratification do you get? And a good example is the young lady up at the hospital that we went to visit. She's coming to us tomorrow, actually, but what do you get from that? When you see somebody like you had to go see her and she was in a crisis-type ward and wasn't the most pleasant thing to have to sit there in a room with her, but why do you do stuff like that? I mean, what do you...
I was in her position years ago in the same place in a crisis, beaten down and broken, and not knowing where to go. And I wish I had someone there like me and you were to give me a direction where to go. Instead, I was sent back into the world not knowing what to do, just to get deeper into my addiction. And I saw me and her a lot, and to give my number out and her actually call me, it felt good. And now we've been talking the past few days. It feels good to help another person, another addict, whether they're an addict or not. I mean, the other day I gave someone on the street, we're driving by, and a homeless person, I gave her a cigarette, and that felt good. Mm-hmm. I mean, just helping other people. I mean, I've always been someone to help and never receive anything back, but I'm not looking for anything back.
Absolutely. So. Well, you're definitely a blessing to have around for sure. We're going to get back because I got some really cool questions tonight for all of you, but we want to get to meet each one of you first. And I got a new nickname for this next young lady, but we won't bring it out over the radio yet because I haven't presented it to her. But I've watched her. She is very, how do you say, outspoken, very temperamented. Is that the right word? But, I mean, really close to my heart. And I know we've had our differences and all, but what's really sucks is when we watch you kids go through the stuff you go through, and I've had to learn to back off to a point because it's not that I know everything, but I know what's coming around the next corner, and you guys can't see it. And it's like you guys got to either have it dump on you or have it, have the shit scared out of you or whatever it's going to take. And what I got to remember, and that's why I get in your way sometimes, because I do see it, and I don't want to see what's going to happen to you next. And so you guys, believe it or not, you guys have helped me grow just as much, and especially, some of the kids just like you, Britt, that I got to remember that you guys got to find your own way. All we can do is just kind of sit there and point in the right directions and hope and pray that you take that. So, Brittany, there's been times when I know Brittany's hating my guts, and then there'll be times when, she comes in and smiling and gives me a hug. And this last episode, we won't even get into deep, but there was a pretty bad commotion. But she made the effort and she called to apologize. And it's not that I was looking for an apology. Excuse me. But if she was sincere, then to me it's a growth, and it's a part of growing up. And then she wrote a letter to City of Angels to a couple of people that were involved in that, and that's very humbling. And I this time I hope that you really take this full force, sweetie. But Brittany, I thanks for coming in and talking a little bit.
Thank you.
You don't have to be scared. She's looking at me like, and yes, I am going to embarrass each and every one of you in my own way tonight, so just get prepared. But we're here to have a good time, and that's what recovery is all about, and that's what I want you guys to see. So why don't you just tell me what might be a little bit different this time than the last few times?
I have a different state of mind. I just am done with the stuff that I was doing, and I'm fed up with the stuff that I was doing, and I feel different, and there's a saying in NAAA, don't leave 5 minutes before the miracle. And I think I got that. I didn't leave. I stayed for the miracle. And it just changed my state of mind thinking. And, like, I just was like, wow. Like, I listened to this lady tell her life story. And in the rehab I was just in PMRC, Mount Pocono, recovery center, and she told her story, and it was one of the first groups I went to there, and I was like blown away from her story. Like, I was just like her, but she was like, it was a big age difference, but it was like amazing how everything was just like me, but it was a different woman. And I don't know, like, just hearing her story really like made me sit back and look, and ever since then, I've just been a totally different person, except the day of the episode. But, yeah, I changed from that day on, too, a little bit. And I love these girls at the house and Temper Tall. I learn to grow with them each and every day, every moment, every second. And they teach me a new thing every day. So I just take one day at a time, and sometimes one minute at a time. So, yeah, that's all I got.
No, that ain't all you got.
Really?
You got more.
No.
I'm joking. You know, and
Don't embarrass me.
I really, you know, and I really pray that you got. And the thing I want to ask you now, and you might not even know the answer to this yet. I hope you do. What do you think happened the other times that made you give up or walk away, or just, you know, what do you think the reason was, honestly?
What, when I relapsed?
Well, when you relapsed or you walked away or whatever. What do you think caused that?
A relationship and with a boy, and my mom.
All right, so now let me ask you a question. What do you think's any different this time? What happens when you get put in that situation again? What are you going to use this time to stop that from happening again?
Well, I haven't really changed. I'm going to be honest. I haven't really changed anything too drastic with my mom. I mean, she's a big enabler in my life right now, and in my addiction. Well, when I was in my addiction, and I have been asking her for some things a little bit too much, but it's kind of asking for help, but maybe in the wrong ways. I'm not sure. But I know, like, I was just thinking today when I was laying in my bed, like, I got everything. Like, I basically have everything I ever needed. Like, I have clothes to put on my back. I have a roof over my head. I have food to eat. I don't need to ask her for anything. Like, I don't have to ask her for anything no more. And, like, I'm really trying to work on that really hard to, like, not ask her every second or minute of the day, like, Mom, can you bring me to a meeting? Like tonight she brought us to a meeting because it was a half-hour ride, and I have juvenile rheumatoid arthritis, and it was a half-hour walk. And she needed to go to a meeting, too, tonight, which was she was going to a different place, but she gave me and the girls that needed a ride too, and she sat with us through the meeting, and she loved it. And then with the boy situation, I am on which is called male blackout for a month from him, and a boy blackout from 2 weeks. I think that's how it is, right?
No.
Or is it
30 for
30
you? It's
days?
60 days.
Shut up, Red. 30-day blackout from boys or men, whatever they want to be, which I actually don't have a problem with. Like, I do have some times where I want to text my boy, guy, friend, whatever he wants to be to me. But, like, I just, like, try to get my mind on something else, and I just, poof, it's gone. Like, the thought is gone for me wanting to talk to him. And I've been in and out of rehab for this past year since last June, from 2013. And there was times and points and times that I didn't talk to him for like 2 months, 2 weeks, 3 days, 5 days or whatever. And it didn't really bother me. I'm really growing, learning to like work on myself and like just focus on me and my recovery. In the process of doing my decision on what I want to do with him, but as of that right now, I don't know for sure what I'm going to do, but I know that God's going to, and my higher power is going to put me in the right path and show me and guide me through the way.
As long as you listen this time.
Yes.
Well, I'm proud of you. And now she said it, she said it perfectly. She's got to start working on herself. And you know what and I work with so many of you young girls, and I go back and I see what half the problem is, and half the problem is like not just you being girls, it's just being people with this disease. Is all we want is to be needed and loved and wanted and and accepted. And sometimes we go about it the wrong ways, and you got to watch because people. You know me, I'm not going to pull punches. And I was just talking to a couple of young ladies earlier today, and they couldn't get it over, out of their head that, these guys love them. No, honestly, they're looking to get down your pants, straight up. And I know people don't like to say it that way, but most of the time that's exactly what the story. I mean, it's okay to laugh. And I'm going to tell you girls the same way I tell my daughters. It's the same thing. You guys try so hard to find that perfect person, and you're looking in all the wrong areas, and a lot of times we look, and I'm speaking for me, a lot of times we look for people that maybe got a little worse than we are because it makes us feel better about ourselves. If you start working on just you, don't worry about your significant other, start working on you, and God will put the right person in your life. And that don't matter, that don't mean if it's a boyfriend or a husband, it could be just a good friend. God will put your higher power, will put the right people in your life. But when we're sitting there spending all our energy, wasting all our energy and all our time on trying to find that one person, you're not going to find them yourself. Start working on you. Love yourself, and how the hell you're going to love somebody else when you don't think of yourself as like you're supposed to, Excuse me. I'm really, how long you got clean now, Britt?
Today is 21 days.
Nice. All right. Oh, and one more quick one. I thought you hated that place up there.
Oh, what place?
Oh, in Poconos.
I did.
That place sucked, Red. That's.
I mean, at first it did, but then I kind of thought, I don't know, I thought I was not liking it, but then there were some days which you're gonna have down the road. You're gonna have that emotional roller coaster, and you're gonna go up and down, even sharp turns and upside down. But I thought for a minute there, I was only there really originally 14 days, and then I came to Temperance Hall, which I thought I was kind of another thing they say in NA or AA, play it till you get it or something, or
fake it till you make it.
Fake it till you make it. There you go. And I just was I thought I was doing that. Mm. I had a feeling I was doing that, but then I was well, maybe I'm not, and then maybe I'm just maybe I'm really finished. Maybe I'm really done. I didn't really have a chance to talk about the place or how I felt or what work I did on the place, and things just blew out of proportion.
Right.
And then things got better. I made amends and carried on and went job searching. But can I make a shout out?
Yeah.
I want to make a shout out to Rob Buto because I love you and miss you so much. Love you, Robert.
And that was Rob up at Changes.
Yes, up at Changes. Fort Lauderdale, Florida, to be exact.
Mm-hmm. Our next girl, I want to call, how would I say it? No disrespect, my little hot mess girl. Because when I met you, you were. And
Well, honestly, my name when I was out there was Messica because my name's Jessica.
Well, they actually-
that makes sense.
And what was funny is I actually met her because of another situation, and she was with somebody that I went to, to look for to meet. And so I got my first meeting her was just like she was a mess, people straight up. So we brought her back to City of Angels and got them both into a safe place, a sober house. And next thing you know, they're hopping a train away from this area. And the thing about it is she knew she messed up because I remember when she called me and she goes, Red, she goes, I know I messed up. And she goes, I want to come back. And it was only within a few hours. It wasn't like days or nothing. But, and what I told her is, like I tell you, I said, look, you find your way back here, we'll definitely help you. And she did. She got back, she got out, hopped the train and got back here around 10:30 that night, and I didn't know what to do with her as far as being so late. So I said, "Well, we'll put you in a motel for the night, and we'll work on it tomorrow." And I remember her sitting in a car going, "Well, and I just seen the expression. I go, "What do you don't?" Because some of you kids don't like being in motels. It's a trigger. But she looked at me and I said, "What's wrong?" And she goes, "I really want to go back to the house." I said, "Well, that's out of my control." So I let her call him up and let her talk to him, and then. The house mother did come meet us, and we sat and talked, and and they made a decision. And then I guess she called all the girls to ask the girls the same thing, and she ended up going back. And then we got the young lady sitting in front of us today, and she's fighting it. And I see you changing each time I see you. I can actually hear your voice now, where before you're pretty much horsed out.
Yeah.
But Jess, I just want to thank you so much, friend. You're not a mess no more. That's for sure.
Well, a little bit, but that just comes with the
You just got to get some
territory
weight
of me.
back on your bones. You're too tiny. But I just want to thank you for coming in, and I'm really proud to be a part of your life and recovery. So. And
I feel the same way about you. I mean, I've only been in this program for about 8 days now, and you've already done more for me than I've had most people do for me my whole life. So I already owe you a lifetime of gratitude.
No, stop saying that. You don't owe me nothing. And just what we were talking about to Brittany before, that's your higher power. Excuse me, that's your higher power because he puts the right people in your life, whether you know it or not. And the family I had in here tonight, and I told them the same thing because he goes, well, you just, this is all you love to do. And I said, actually, I hate doing this. I'll be honest. I hate sitting in here night after night and looking at a family and looking at a mom and dad crying and looking at you kids, sometimes when I first get to see you, you're half dead. That is not what I want to do with my life, but it's also what I've made a promise to God that if He kept that emptiness and that feeling of being unworthy and a piece of shit out of me, then this is what I didn't know this is what He had in mind for me at the time. But what I'm trying to say is your higher power is what done it, really, because I know there's a whole lot of other things I'd rather be doing. I really would. I wish there was no need to be a City of Angels. I wish there was no need to do these things we do, but it's a disease and it's killing our community, so, it's what we do. So you don't owe me nothing. You really don't. Only thing, if you do want to repay me, is just stay clean and be that person down the road that's helping another young lady or another young man out, whether it's talking to them or going to the hospital to visit them or just sitting here being an inspiration. That's all you need to do. So, with that, I mean, you got in the house. I guess you're doing okay.
I'm doing great, and I'm glad that I fought for myself, going back to what you said before. One of the hardest things was turning back around. I've cared very much about this person that I was just trying to help out. I wasn't trying to run away from my problems personally, but putting myself first for the first time in my life at 31 years old, was a lesson to be learned. And, it's just amazing how much you can learn about yourself through sobriety and just through these houses. I mean, I was only with these girls for a couple of days, and I just knew it was the right place for me and that I'd be very successful being with these women. And it's already proven to be the truth.
Right. And is this your first time trying this? I mean, the sobriety or getting clean?
No, I went through a halfway house down in Trenton through a program that doesn't even exist anymore, which is a shame. And I was in a really bad neighborhood, but it was my mindset. And I was clean for 5 years. I was my house manager. I volunteered. I helped people, and it really did help me. But my mistake was not working the program throughout that full 5 years.
Say that again?
What, not working the
There
program?
you go.
Yes, that is absolutely key. And that's something I had to learn the hard way. And I feel like if I did have that higher power and I did have the program, I wouldn't have went back out there and relapsed after all that time. That was heartbreaking for me. But I swallowed my pride and, admitted I needed help. And here I am today.
Awesome. It's so nice to have you here today, that's for sure. What do you think's different now then? I mean, what is it do you think has changed to where, what made you come back?
I just was tired, that's a hard life to live, being out there trying to figure out what you're going to do on a daily basis, how you're going to make that money, how you're going to, get to your guy and try to figure it all out. It's just an awful way to live, and that mentality and that mindset is exhausting. It's absolutely exhausting, mentally and physically. And you get to a point where you have so much loss and you just know that you're at your bottom and you don't want to go any further. Like, I've actually been further down than I was this past time. But that was the one thing I've learned from my past recovery. I didn't want to go that far down again. And I just really want to have a better life. I know I deserve that. And, I work hard, and I was just spending the money on the wrong things and had the wrong mindset. And I didn't put myself first. That is absolutely, for me, the hardest thing, is to put me and what's best for me first instead of everyone else.
And you're doing that now?
Yeah. I wouldn't be here today if I didn't. I left someone I cared about very much in the middle of Rahway train station and ran my little butt back here as quick as I could.
See, this is where I learned to pull back, because used to, I would, as soon as you called, I would have took off up there, and I'm going, you know what, they got to do this, and you guys got to sooner or later figure it out for yourself, and I did. The whole time I was praying, actually, for both of you. Just if they get them back here, and I'll take care of the rest. That's just. And sure enough, yeah, I was so glad and blessed that you did get back here as quick as you did.
Well, the further I got away from the house, the more evident that I made the wrong decision, and the more my heart hurt, literally. I just knew it was the wrong thing to do, and I just had to put it all to the side and think about what was really best for me. And that truly, and I'm being dead honest, was extremely hard. It was extremely hard, but I'm so happy that I did that.
So you think the sisterhood that you have living in this house is a big contribution to you?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Just like you said, God and your higher power puts the right people in your life at the right point in times. And I absolutely met these women for this reason. They're my support system. They're my family right now. And I feel closer with them than I have my own sister that, has been my sister for 28 years. And especially this one right here. She's more my sister within 8 days than other relationships I've had with women throughout my life.
All right. Well, good. You're definitely for sure a blessing. Now, this is a really actually funny, cool story with this next young lady. Because her family was coming to me probably about a year or so ago, maybe. And I kept hearing about these two sisters, having problems. The family probably came to see me about 6 times, 7 times, not knowing what to do if I can't get them into the office. And I guess neither one of them wanted to come, but your sister ended up coming first.
Yes.
Yep. She ended up coming in to see me and trying to help, and then all of a sudden, like a lot of times, they just poof it. I never hear nothing back from them. And then all of a sudden, I got the call that your sister got in somewhere and she's, starting to work it. And then you started calling me and you got into detox. And I said, well, look, we can definitely find you something afterwards. I always a firm believer in the more treatment you can get, the better. And some situations we don't have that opportunity. And so I explained to her about the sober house, and and I'm going to let her tell the rest, but, Jen has just been straight up honest. When you got in there that first week, I didn't think you were going to stick it out. I really didn't.
I didn't think so either.
And to see the transformation of this young lady, because when she came, I never met her, but until she got out of detox, and so she was kind of already, the physical part was already coming back. So, You know, she didn't look a hot mess like you did when I met you, but I'm only joking. That's a compliment. Actually, that's a compliment. But I seen something in her face, and being honest, I don't think she was completely 100% ready when she came to the sober house. And I was just really worried, and I prayed hard because I thought she's going to walk, she's going to leave. And then every time I see her now, it's like she's got a bigger smile on her face, and she's looking more and more beautiful, and you know, and she's dealing with her problems, and she's hitting it head on. So I just want to congratulate you, sweetie, and thank you so much for not giving up.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
So what have you seen to change this time? I mean, than the other times that you tried to do this?
Honestly, I wasn't ready before. Not at all. This time I was. I was tired of everything, the way I was living.
And you're done?
Yeah. 100%.
What are you doing to stop it and keep it this way?
Staying where I'm at in the recovery house. Because I've been in and out of NAAA for the last 4 years, I never worked the program, never did step work, never got a sponsor, sat in the back in the relapse row. And that's exactly what I did. I relapsed. Because I thought just going to meetings was okay. You know, I thought that would keep me clean, and it wasn't true.
Right.
So I'm doing everything different. I'm pretty much doing everything I'm told to do, almost everything.
Well, should we get into that, or you want to just say almost everything?
Almost everything passed.
At least you didn't say everything, so
Almost.
I didn't know if I was going to have to throw you under the bus or not.
No, sorry.
Nah, but you know, I say that, and I mean that with the utmost respect. Is just, I mean, I see it in all of you guys. Is just see the beauty and you know, like when you guys walk in now and the smile on your face is just like sunshine coming through the windows in the morning. It really is. That might sound corny, but I'm serious. How else can I explain it without, you know? But especially with you, because like I said, you didn't look bad when I met you, but you still look lost. And now it's like you're bubbly, you're laughing. You know, you even had a little bitchy story to start bitching about at the beginning, but you still got the biggest smile on your face now. And, you know, this is what recovery's all about. It's to sit around and laugh and joke and have fun. Look, anything to do with life, if you spend so much energy of sitting around whining and crying and feeling sorry for yourself or complaining or bitching, if you just ask yourself, have I done everything today to take care of that stuff, and have I done everything today to help me become a better person? And if you can truthfully answer yourself yes, then why worry about the rest? All that shit will still be there tomorrow when you wake up and you just start all over again, and you start dealing with what you're able to deal with at the time. You know, God's not going to give you nothing that you can't handle, you know. So you got a sponsor?
Yeah.
And you're doing the steps?
Yeah, I started them. Mm-hmm.
No kidding. And what about a job? How's the job searching going?
I have an interview on the 24th. Yeah, so I'm excited about that.
Oh, it is the 24th. So yeah, I hope you get it. I really do.
I hope so too.
Oh, not for your benefit.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right.
I asked her. I want to be the guy that holds the light for the models, or at least somebody that can open the door for the changing rooms. So, we can joke. See, it's fun. I told you we have a good time tonight. You know.
Work at Uno's too, so.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that one. Yeah, that was pretty good. So, all right. So, I want to hear what you're on. I mean, we talked a lot about it already, but where are you at with your higher power right now today, Amanda? Yeah, I'm looking at you. So,
I have a really good connection with my higher power. I talk to him every morning, every night. Thank him that I'm alive, and I believe that everything happens for a reason. We talked about this last week as well. And each day gets stronger. He has a plan for me, and I know even in the hardest times that this too shall pass. So I have a very good connection with him.
Nice. How do you keep that relationship?
By reaching out and talking to him and using the support that I have in this program, and asking for the help when I need help, and not just sitting in my own crap, talking about it.
Absolutely. Miss Britt, same question. I mean, where are you at with your higher power today?
I'm pretty good. I've been I don't know. I've been praying more than what I usually do. And I just, like, really tried talking to them or him. I don't know. I really don't know what it is. I call it my higher power because, like, it could be anything, but I haven't found out exactly. Like, I believe it's God and everything, and, like, everybody says it's God and all that, but, I think I have a few, like, higher powers that help me get through my day and help me get through things that I can't handle on my own. And, but yeah, I think it's pretty good, and I'm doing very well with that. And by praying and talking, just like what Amanda said.
Right. Miss, what did they call you, Messica?
Yeah.
But you ain't that no more, so Jess, where are you at with your higher power today?
Well, it's really funny you asked me that because I was actually having this conversation before. The last time I got clean, I kind of did it in more of a self-willpower, I did it myself sort of way. And
How'd that work for you?
well, at the end of the day, you know, when that wasn't there anymore, there was nothing.
Right.
There was nothing. So I truly believe that having that higher power in your life and that faith, it could take you a lot further than you really understand at that moment. So growing up in a very Catholic, regimented household, I was an altar server, I was in choir, I was in Catholic school up until my freshman year in high school. So that's a difficult concept for me to really come back to and take seriously. But I've been working on it, and I feel it, you know, every day that goes by a little bit more.
Right.
Something stronger, something is definitely working greater than me at this stage in the game, because it took a lot to do what I had to do to come around this time. And if I didn't believe and if I didn't pray, then I wouldn't be anything at this stage. So I just have to reiterate the importance of that higher power and, you know, believing in something greater than yourself. Because at the end of the day, yourself might not always be there, but your higher power always will be. And, you know, you just have to look to that for strength when you don't have it anymore. So that's all I have to say about that one for now. So I'm working on it.
That's all I got to say about that. Sound like Forrest Gump.
Well, you look at that. Just look at it.
Miss Jen, where are you at with your higher power today?
Well, I do believe that there is God. Honestly, I'm having like a hard time feeling that connection. I can't lie. I'm like 42 days in. I know there's something there, though. I mean, because honestly, I shouldn't be sitting here today, you know, between overdoses and, you know, total car accidents. Like, there is something greater than me up there. And I pray every night, every morning. I'm just, you know, looking for that connection and, you know, hopefully working through the steps, I find it, you know.
And you will. And this is what's so cool about it. Just each one of you had a little bit different to answer with. You know, you said you're having a hard time with the connection, and that's okay. Britt said how she said it. She really don't know what it is right now, but it's going to be of her understanding. You know, so that's what's so cool about this program is because I don't think, and correct me if I'm wrong, I don't think anywhere it says it's got to be God. I mean, for a lot of us, we choose, that's who I choose to call my higher power is God. But it's a higher power that you come to believe in.
There's no one right answer.
No, there is.
It could be a doorknob or
well, I mean, we can talk a whole nother story about that, but you know, I know what they mean when they say that. I know what they mean when they say that, but you got to watch that because I mean, what they're trying to tell you is what you believe that is more powerful. Come on. They used to tell me you can use that chair as a higher power, and I'm sitting there, and I did. I'm sitting there looking, and this is probably my first month in recovery, and I'm looking at the chair, and I'm going, that's cool because I don't have to do nothing now, and that's what my But after I was clean for a while, I started thinking about it. I do understand where the concept and what they were trying to tell you, but if you really think logically, it's more of, you know, it's more of telling you that it's up to you, but common sense, I mean, no, you're not going to use a doorknob or a chair, but But it's to see well, you know what? Saying that in the same sentence, if you really believe that that's going to keep you clean and that's more powerful than you, then go for it. You know, yeah, absolutely, absolutely. But the point is that it's our choice and nobody's forcing it. I cannot force somebody, even though I could tell you all kinds of stories of God moments and God experiences that would blow your mind, but I experienced it. If you didn't experience that with me, you're not going to understand it. But I can't force it down you either and tell you, well, you know, you thinking that, you know, Buddha or Muhammad or whoever some of them other gods are, yeah, that if that's what they believe in, then go for it. But, you know, so we each talked, you know, a lot about what you're going through now in recovery and being in the house. And it's actually coincidental that, I shouldn't even say coincidental because there's no such thing as coincidence, but that all you guys, because this was actually put together last night, and you guys are all at the same sober house, which is great, but where do you want to, I mean, and I don't like asking this question, but because we shouldn't worry too much about the future, but what are your guys' plans for your future? Because I know most of you, it'd probably be getting high most of your 20s, you know, and I know, Brittany, you're younger, but so at some points, you know, you got to just, where do you want to be? You know the old saying, what do you want to do? What do you want to be when you were growing up? And what do you guys, what's your plans? I mean, what do you actually want to be and do in the, you know, near future?
Am I starting?
Yeah, because I'm looking at you again. That's how it goes.
I want to get back into school. That's on top of my list. Definitely get my bachelor's, about a year left. Really,
what were you majoring in?
Criminal justice. I have my paralegal degree, my associates. Get a good job, be able to support my daughter and not have to like struggle. But I really want to start giving back more. My goal is to stay clean. I am going to stay clean. And be there for my family. And
awesome.
I don't know. It's hard to predict the future.
No, we're not.
Really
I don't want to predict it. More or less, you answered it. But it's just, what is it that you want to do now? I mean, because you're clean and sober and you're working your program. Honestly, all of you guys are so young. You can pretty much still do anything you want to do to put your mind to it. I mean, come on. I mean, and I hate that old scenario. If I could do it, you could do it. But I mean, you're sitting here. I'm a 4-time convicted felon. I was never ever supposed to be set free. You know, I was facing, 25 years in prison. I should not be walking the face of earth. That tells me that's a God story for me. Not only did God give me another chance, is He let me be a protective member of society. He's letting me have people in my life that will respect me and love me, not by fear, but just by me being who I am. You know, and I've said it before. I've told the story before. I was so excited to get asked to go on jury duty. Who gets excited about that? So I go on jury duty. I get the day off of work. I'm like excited. I'm dressed to the T. I even took a shower that morning, cleaned underwear, cleaned socks, everything. I get there. They pull it back in the room. They take the first bit of us. They're setting us down. The judge asked me the first question. This is when they're picking the jurors. And the first question, I was the only one that raised my hand, and so they took me in a little room, and she goes, I explained the story, and she goes, well, you're ineligible. I said, why? And she goes, because there's a conflict of interest for the case. I said, you got to be joking me. I said, but I want to do jury duty. And the judge and the lawyer's going, you wanted to? I said, yeah. I didn't get into detail why. So they said, well, we've never heard that one before, but go downstairs, and you might be able to sign up for tomorrow. So I went downstairs. I told the lady the same thing. I said, I don't want to go home. I want to be on jury duty. And she goes, but you're done for 3 years. I said, that ain't good enough. So they let me back on the next day. Next morning, did the same thing again. 2 showers in 2 days is like a lot for me. So I get back up there. The second question they asked me made me ineligible. The point is that I think it's funny, but that was something that I shouldn't have done. You know, the only thing left is, in voting. I'm not supposed to be able to vote, and I'm able to do that. The only thing they still won't let me use is firearms, which I probably don't need none of that anyway. So, but the thing is I never in my wildest dreams ever thought that I could have a plan like I am today. I'm 50 years old in a couple weeks, and I never thought I would make it to 30. and I turned 30, and I woke up and I said, "What are you going to do now, stupid? I never planned on this, and this is how God works in my life." You know. So, Britt, what is it that you want to do? I mean, what is it that you want to, especially if you're done with this BS?
I definitely want to be still clean and sober, from everything, and hopefully be able to be blessed with some kids for down the long end, not right now, anytime soon, but like be married, have a nice house, but really like all like the material things doesn't really matter, like to me right now. I mean, like, yeah, that's all sounds nice and everything, but I just want to see like where each day takes me down the long end, and that's just where I'm going to be at, and that's what I'm going to say and stick with, because I never know what's going to be, what you can be here today and gone tomorrow. So, yeah, just be blessed. I'm blessed, and that I am living today, because there was some close calls with car accidents and stuff, and flipping cars, and there's just like I think Jess said, there's gotta be, or I don't know who it was, one of these beautiful girls, but there was very close calls to me, and the people at the hospital said like that was you in the car or whatever, and you are lucky that you didn't die. Like you must have some really good like guardian angels up there watching over you. And my mom always told me that there was always like a layer. It's like your guardian angels are a layer, an atmosphere over, like if you put your hand over your head, as tall as your hand is from your head, that's where they're at. They're in that atmosphere right above you. So yeah, so.
Well, your layers are pretty much gone then, huh?
Yeah. Well, no. I mean. No, like if you put your hand straight up, and like wherever the atmosphere is, where like your hands stop, that's where all your like significant others, loved ones, grandfathers, grandparents, grandmoms, like that's where they are. So, I took that, and I always held that in. Right. But yeah, that's all I got.
Cool.
Thanks for sharing.
Yeah, man. All right, Miss Jess.
All right, what was the question again?
You're not paying attention?
I got a little lost there.
What's your
my
future
goals.
plans? What you want to do?
Yeah, that is a pretty loaded question. It's a little overwhelming to project that far into the future.
That could be tomorrow or next week.
Well, I guess I always wanted that quote-unquote normal life, the husband, the kids, the whole 9 yards, but hold up.
How is that normal? Go ahead, joking.
Like, how am I supposed to follow that one?
Absolutely.
Well, for everyone, because you guys don't know me, I'm a hairdresser, and I went to vocational school when I was in high school, and one of my main goals in my life was to own my own salon and to really just throw myself into my career. I'm fortunately very talented, and I love what I do, and I'm very passionate about it, and unfortunately, with my disease of addiction, I kind of lost it all, and I almost lost my passion there for a while, and it's good to feel it coming back strong, and that's what I really want. I want to make that money. I just want to make that money, and I want to, I already did all 3 of these girls' hair since I've been here. I've been working since I got in this house. Yeah, for Red Bulls and cigarettes. That's just what I'm doing right now. I'm hustling, man. But that's my that's what I do. That's what I do, girls. But that's my true goal. Whatever else follows with that, I'm really not too concerned with. I know my higher power will put a beautiful man in my way, or, woman, hey. No, but I'm just gonna leave the rest of it up to God, and
And see, this is so cool. This is the laughing. You guys
I'm
deserve
hilarious.
this.
I don't know if you know
deserve
this yet, but
We laugh all day
all day.
long.
We got kicked out of the library like 5 times
laughing.
yesterday for laughing. There was a guy snoring, and he was allowed to snore in the library, but we couldn't laugh. God forbid.
Wow.
Laughing and
my
stuff.
God.
It's a lot of fun.
But that is what this program is all about, and and you almost forget that part of you.
Yeah, you do.
I mean, I forgot what a goofball I was. I mean, I completely numbed that part of me out. So to see it coming back, and it's coming back with full force. I mean,
That's good because I would have never thought that the 2 times I got to talk to you, the first night, and 3 times in here, and then getting you from the train station. Never thought you were. I just thought you were just this little quiet and just
oh my God,
hot mess.
Nope, proving you wrong.
Absolutely, I misjudged on that one. That's for sure. So, Miss Jen,
Yes.
what is yours?
My plan for the future?
Well, yeah. Do you think I was going to ask you a different question?
Maybe.
Now go ahead. Yeah.
My plan is to take over the world.
Together, baby.
No, Pinky in the brain over here. No, I want to go to school, actually. I want to be a dental hygienist. Something I've been wanting to do for a while, but I was too busy doing other things, so I'm going to pursue that.
Nice.
Yeah, one thing at a time, though, because I can't overwhelm myself thinking about past that part, but...
And you can do that, too. You know that, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I know I can.
All right.
Yeah.
This is something I wanted to touch on because there's been a lot of concerns about it, and it concerns me. How you deal with, because, I mean, I want to change. This is one big thing about recovery I want to change. I want to change the statistics, because if they say three out of 100 people get clean and stay clean, that's exactly what the statistics are. And I've seen it. I've seen it because, honestly, if we go by that, there's 6 of us in a room right now, and in 6 months, they say one of us will still be clean. You see what I'm saying? So what could you guys do as an individual and as a group to help change them statistics? You understand what I'm asking?
Yeah.
You guys are the future. You guys are the future not only of the United States, but of recovery, and I've seen a big difference in just, the 8.5 years that I've been clean. I seen what the rooms were like when I was going to meetings, and I see what the rooms are like now. Big difference. Yeah. Some good and some bad, but it seems like they're getting, more and more people are dying from this disease, and the rooms are getting smaller and smaller, which I wish it was because everybody was staying clean, but that's not true. What is it that you guys think that would help you the most as an individual of changing the statistics? Like you guys were talking about how close you 2 are. I know you and Lauren were real close. I know you just got there and you're close to the girls. What happens when that one that you're so close to turns around and walks out or slips up or relapses? How are you going to deal with that?
I'm dealing with it.
Okay. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
This is why, and the point I'm trying to make is, and I said, look, people look at me and they say, oh, you're this and you're this. Well, you know what? You can depend on me. I would, if I could lay my life down and people know me, I'm honest, I would give my life right now to make sure you guys and all the other kids, does not have to go through this stuff. But, that can't be done. But I still say you can only depend on me just to a certain point. I'll let you down, maybe not intentionally, but you might be wanting something or needing something, and I'm not going to be there, or the person sitting to your left or right. You said it, one of you said it a minute ago, is concentrate on myself.
Yeah.
You got to put yourself number one.
Yep.
You were selfish when you were out there using because you didn't give a shit about nobody else but ourselves. And all of a sudden we get clean, and all of a sudden we get a conscience. You see what I'm saying? Now is it the time to be all? Now when I say that, I don't mean don't depend on that girl to the left and the right, or sleeping on the top bunk or the bed next to you. What I'm saying is concentrate entirely on you first. So how do we change the statistics? And this is just something anybody can jump in on that. Everybody opens their mouth, but nothing's coming out.
What do you mean change the statistics?
Where it's
where
free-
more people
Yes.
staying clean
Yes.
than 1 out of the
Yes.
year or 6 months. To really reach out to the people and say that that really needs our help, that it really works, just stay, come to a meeting when you can. And
Okay, Brittany, keep that thought, but if that works, how come we told you that?
I know, but like now I'm seeing that it's changed, and I don't want to go back to that life.
Okay.
I don't want to go back to doing the crazy psychotic things, thinking about only myself and not giving a God's ass about anybody else. But I have little ones that are really close to me, my nephews, and I want to be there for them. And I lost touch with 2 of them, and they're the oldest, and I have a baby nephew who's 2, and I want to be their aunt that they knew when they were born and from whenever they lost me.
What could you contribute to it then, to help them change the statistics?
What can I contribute?
You personally.
I could say a lot, but there's so many things running through my head right now.
I know that's a lot of space up there too, so I know. I love you though.
Love you too. I know, like
Anybody else?
I don't know. I have to think about that and get back to you.
Absolutely.
Okay.
I love how I'm done. That's enough.
You know what amazed me was, like, I've been to a couple meetings, and there's kids, like a couple kids in there, like 15, 16 years old. And I'm thinking back when I was 15, 16, like I was just starting my addiction. And I was driving down the street the other day, passing my middle school. And that's like, I don't know, for me, I know a lot of people can probably relate, but middle school is where like you start getting peer pressure, you start experimenting with the minor stuff, drinking, smoking weed. But then eventually it graduates through high school and off to college or whatever. I think that, like, I don't know how it is now, but when I was in middle, there wasn't that much awareness, education. I think there needs to be more. And middle school is that age where, like, you start where things are happening.
So more awareness and
maybe middle school age, and then also like high school. But middle school is where things start happening with like guys and girls even mingling and. Different
Honestly,
things.
I think it's happening even earlier than that now.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
And that's what's scary.
It's scary.
Yeah.
As a mother too, like I'm
Right.
scared.
Right. Well, and we should be. You know,
When
my
I saw
brother
a kid that was 15 years old in a meeting. I didn't even know what meeting
that's
was.
how old my brother is, and that's like terrifying.
Yeah.
You know, the things that I come home and hear him talking about and what these kids are doing nowadays. I mean,
right.
I couldn't even fathom anything like that at his age, and
And the
there
drugs
isn't-
they're using at 15 is like, wow.
It's way serious. You're not just starting out with, you know, a little pot here and there and, you know, sneaking your dad's beers. I mean,
getting
these are
really bad.
serious drugs. I mean,
Well, we need to definitely touch on that. We need to find a way to change. And that's what I want to do. I want to change the statistics. When I have families sitting down, I hate telling that, and it's proven. They say 3 to 5 out of 100 get clean and stay clean. You know what? And I know it can be done, but it's like finding the ways of bringing Brittany, in quicker and letting her get this, or getting Jess off the street a little quicker, or getting Jen to even come into the office and talk, But the point is, the old saying is you're not going to do it till you're ready.
Exactly.
So, how do we get these people ready quicker? And I'm working on that with the families now, and the families are really starting to listen. And what sucks with how to do it is it pisses the kids off because they don't want nothing to do with me after that. I mean, when you're sitting here telling a parent that, you got to turn your back, but see, we're also there to take over. And I wish I had the better answer, but I know you guys are the ones that are, new in recovery. And, if there's stuff that we're missing as mentors or whatever you want to call us, or, so I know Brittany calls me asshole sometimes, but I love messing with it. The point is if there's something, that's what you need. We need to pull together, and you need to let us know. Red, this is, or Kevin, why don't we try something like this? Neither one of us say we do not know it all. All we know is what we found out right now that works, and that does help, but we're missing a lot through the cracks. So when we're missing stuff, we're more than be grateful to listen to what might help a little more, So we're sad to say I'd like to sit here all night and talk. We're just about out of time, and But I want to thank you girls for coming in. I want to wish you the best of luck, and you know that, you know, not just myself, but City of Angels is definitely here for all them goals that each one of you said. If you find the time that you're ready to start them, you know, I tell you all, let's come in and sit down and come up with the plan. You know, when you write something down on paper, it might not get done right then and there, but it gives you something to look for. We will help you reach them goals, and anything within our power. I mean, we know people. We know there's people out there that want to help, that maybe don't come in here and do what we do, but they're willing to help. They're willing to give you a chance. But we don't know that unless we come in and let's make a plan for sure. So I want to thank you guys all for coming and, you know, coming in, and it's definitely such a blessing to look at you guys. Just anybody else out there listening, I mean, you're new in this. You know, the hope is that there's people out there that care, and there's people out there that will not give up and will not quit on you. And, you know, we call them Angels. It's City of Angels in Hamilton, New Jersey. You have any questions about anything coming up? I know I didn't talk much about the walk. We got plenty of time in the near couple months. September 14th is going to be our first annual fundraiser walk. I know most of these girls, if we're still doing it, are going to be on my team. We got some shirts we're making up. We need to get them done. But go under our website at cityofangelsnj.org. You can find any information. You can also go under coaradio.com and listen to this show tomorrow or any past shows that any of us have done. Definitely an awesome thing. I want to thank Rick for coming in here, as always, to do all the technical stuff. And, you know, it was just awesome. Actually, last week it was really cool to get on the computer, and I listened to all the shows. And last week he filmed the whole thing, just like tonight he's filming all of this. So by tomorrow it's usually on there, so you guys can go on and listen. So, you know, please, just like, you know, one of the girls said, don't give up before the miracle happens, and fake it till you make it. And, you know, you got people out there that care for you and love you, and City of Angels is here to help you in any way possible. So with that, I just want to tell your girls to be safe going home tonight. You know, and I want to say goodbye and God bless to everybody.